back, guys. We are here. Here's the thing. Season 2, episode 3. We are excited to be back.
Already in season 3.
Look, I'm pushing the envelope. But look, we got a lot of seasons to come, but we are back. We got some good stuff. We're going to jump right in. I am just blessed and happy and excited to introduce our first co-host, guest. It's just an honor. This is Ty from the great university.
Yes.
Please welcome her. We are excited to have her.
So excited.
Yes,
She's so amazing.
Yes, so amazing. Great public speaker, women empowerment, motivational speaker, and we're looking for some good jewels to be dropped on us today.
Yes.
So it's good to have you.
I'm
Thank
loving
you
them
so
glasses.
much.
Thank you. I can't stop looking at
these
them.
glasses.
So handsome.
Yes,
Students.
Yeah, and I got my
Very
haircut.
studious.
I
my
love
haircut.
it. He looks
But
so
listen,
handsome.
today we are going to talk about crabs in the barrel. We're going to come from some different angles. We all got our own opinions. We all got our own ideas. We're going to come from different angles. So we're going to jump right into it. So crabs in the barrel. Natalie. I know you was talking about self-worth, and that's one thing that we as a people need to get control of. But tell me about this self-worth and how it relates to crabs in the barrel.
I feel like the reason why we are crabs in the barrel, when I say crabs in the barrel, I mean just we don't really want to see each other do good. Like we always trying to push each other back down. It's so hard to see your brother, your sister win. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of it comes from worth. Like we don't know our worth. We do not know our worth. To the point where it reflects on how we treat others, how we respect others, how we value others. We don't value each other when it comes to business, just anything that we're doing in life here. I just feel like it's always when it comes to us, it's always like a problem with it. Mm-hmm. And if you're doing too good and you do one thing wrong, we are like the ones that will bring you all the way back down. You come back down here with us. Here you go. Come on. You're back down here with us. See?
From grace.
It's like we can't do nothing wrong. Like if you do good, you better just be like, you do one wrong thing. So it's about like value and worth. I just feel like we just don't do it for each other. Yeah. We don't.
Yeah, and Ty, we had a brief pre-conversation before we got started, and one thing that you pointed out was value. So,
value.
Yeah, value. Talk to us about that.
I want to talk about value, if you don't mind. You just gave me something. You know I'm random. So we could have had a whole conversation. It done left me. My ADHD ain't good. Listen, but let's talk. I want to mention, you said crabs in the barrel, because we're talking about this barrel. Mm-hmm. I think what we have to understand is that the barrel doesn't even exist. Mm-hmm. That's a container, right? We put ourselves in this container because we don't realize the limitless potential we have as a people. Mm-hmm. So that's why there is a barrel. Mm-hmm. But if we would understand that there is no value, there is no box, that everything that you need to succeed in life is in you. It's innate. It has been given. We all have our own different fingerprints. So there is no barrel. Right. So the only reason we have this conception or this idea of pulling someone down is because we feel like this is as far as we can go. Mm-hmm. But if we would remove that idea, and that comes from being valued, and it comes from being taught at home, right? It takes one person from every household to change a community, to change a neighborhood, to say, you know what, not in my house. This is what I'm going to teach. You have limitless potential and possibilities. There is no barrel. There is no container to contain your gift. Yeah. I can go as far as I need to go, and I feel like it just needs to be taught from one person. All it takes is one person. You know, we used to have a big mama, a grandmama. It takes that one person to change the trajectory of that household, and it will just continue to spread, just like this whole crabs in a barrel mentality has spread into a cancer. We can change that once we change the conversation that we have at home and not allow social media to be our educators.
Right, that's good.
It's
change
past
that cancer
the
into a
educator.
cure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
That part.
Hashtag. I'm gonna use it. You better use it.
Yes. Nick, come on. What's your perspective on it? What is crabs in the barrel to you?
So I do love, on the heels of what you're saying, that there is really no barrel. I was looking into research about the topic and things like that, and I ran across this interview that Dick Gregory gave, right?
I love Dick Gregory.
Comedy icon, activist. Mm-hmm. And he basically said, it's all gossip. That whole crabs in the barrel, he said, do you think that if you go out where the crabs are, in their natural habitat, that they are just killing and clawing at each other? Mm-hmm. No, they're just happy and free. And he said, but it's the water. It's the hot water, because he said crabs in a pot.
Come on.
He said it's the hot water that makes them claw at each other. It's the circumstances that they're in that is making them kind of agitated like this. It's not crabism. And he said, far too often they try to make it seem like this is what black people do to each other. No, there's systemic situations that we're in, and we are just trying to survive and thrive and get out of those scenarios. And we haven't, like you said, we haven't been taught. We don't have the tools in which to try to navigate this world that we're in. So that kind of gave me a little word when I came across Dick Gregory.
That was powerful.
I love Dick Gregory. And I love this whole scenario you just said with the circus and the hot water and the
hot water.
I love
Wow,
that.
well, that's Dick Gregory.
That was deep.
Yeah,
I like
That
it.
was deep.
Because that takes us to, if you don't mind if I speak once
go
again.
ahead.
Jump in.
But that's good. The hot water, right?
Yeah.
So, and systematically, if you're successful, I'm successful, I don't want to pull from you because it's the situation we're in. When you put a lot of people who have absolutely nothing and they feel like I gotta get out, I want to get out so bad, then that's a hot situation. It's a heated situation we're in. So now let me pull on you, because if I don't, how am I going to elevate? Because again, this is all I feel like I can do is be in this barrel. But if we would get out of those hot situations like you did, like you guys did, like I am, out of the hot situation, I don't want to pull you back down, because I already know, because it was taught. It was self-taught for me though, right? But it has to be. It's a learned behavior to change that idea, I think.
What do you think, Ron?
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of where I was getting ready to go too. Is we have to get out of the barrel.
Yeah.
I don't even want to be in the barrel with y'all.
Come on.
I ain't in the barrel. I'm not in the barrel.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to be in the barrel. I don't want to be in the hot water. I have to change my own circumstances. That goes back to what you were saying. We have to, in our own communities, in our own families, in our own circles, change that narrative. Because at the end of the day, in my opinion, this is a narrative that somebody's put on us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then we have accepted and adopted the narrative, and now we have this crabism, or this crab in the
That's
barrel.
been going from
So
generation
we have
to generation. This
generation,
mindset.
it's the mindset, and it starts from the top. And we always talk about slavery and all trickle down effect. So I think we have to be working on changing the narrative and getting rid of this barrel, because really the barrel, like you said, is not here. It's something. It's the barrel's in our own mind that
we are our mental is the barrel. That's the prison.
Exactly.
Come on.
Exactly.
Because we're still in the mental. We're still mentally slaves.
Right.
Like our minds are still in slavery. Where we haven't got past that mentality that's been from generation to generation, that we are more than we think we are. The word, we don't know our word. We don't even know who we are.
Right.
Like we don't know who we are as black people.
Well, we can't know who we are if we don't know where we really come from.
Come on.
Because you have to understand, we don't. We have this African American, but did we really come from Africa? What part of Africa?
Right.
Who are our ancestors? Like, so if I don't know the root of who I am, then how can I know what I'm growing into? Right. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That it's education. Everything falls under education and value and understanding all that. We don't know where we come from.
Our education. Because if we wait on them to tell us, we
we have to dig and dig, because they're not going to teach us. It's not learned.
On the first season, but about Black History Month and about, they're making about the same,
the
black
same people.
So actually learning.
We're creating
that
history.
We were other.
This is history.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Outside of slavery, this is history, though. But, just actually learn. I think education is the key in just anything. And they always say you want to hide something from a black person, put it in a book. Or whatever. Just, learning about who we are and where we come from and everything like that. It starts there, other than, worrying about Instagram or, I think just everything in the media is just like messing up their whole minds. And music I can't even stand the music anyway, what it's even saying out of his mouth anymore. All that stuff is playing to just everything. I think it's not getting better.
But what I'm gathering from what you're saying, I think that we have to be, you're right, like you said, you want to hide something from a black person, put it in the book. But at the end of the day, not that books are irrelevant, but we have to meet people where they are. So if everybody's on social media, we have to go there and start creating a different narrative.
But there are actually people on social media that have different kinds. Like RZA Islam too. I like RZA. Yeah, us too. Yeah. And RZA Islam, he's very, his post, I love his post. He talks about all this kind of stuff. But the thing about it is that's not what everybody's into. You know what I mean? People follow what they want to follow. And it's so hard to get everybody to understand, like to wake up.
Right. Well, it's a clout chasing thing. But I also want to say something. One of the things my husband said, I always tell him, you want to hide something from a black person, put it in a book. He said, no, you want to hide something from somebody, put it right in their face.
It's definitely right in our face, ain't it?
Because now I'm not going to think of the obvious. It's right here. And I think they have smacked us in the face with all of this. We don't think of anything else because it's in our face. And so not only, hide it in a book, but it's so smeared. We can't see past. Everybody talking this 2020 vision. lies. You got a blurred vision. You can't see clearly because you don't even know where you're going. There's a difference between sight and vision. Everyone can see, but everyone doesn't have vision.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So I think we have to see clearly where we are going and know why. And then we start to change how we move, our behaviors. When you have potential, you operate differently. But you have to know the value in that. You have to know your limitless potential. Because now everything, when you know your purpose and you have vision, I'm not going to be set up with this person. I'm not connecting to this. I'm not even listening to that. I'm only going to focus on things that's going to draw me closer to where my vision is taking me. You get what I mean?
Yeah. You know, one thing, a situation I want to talk to you guys about too is it kind of relates, but I want to get into a little bit of black wealth and black finance, because a lot of it with this barrel mentality, right? A lot of it is because it's not just that we're trying to pull each other down. We aren't doing enough to lift each other out.
Right.
I'm gonna give you some statistics because y'all know I'm
Come with the
good for
statistics,
Come on, facts.
I'm good for a statistic. So some statistics say, and there are some other statistics that debunk this, but we're going to go with this for now. So they say the black dollar only circulates in the black community for 6 hours. They say the Asian dollar circulates in the Asian community for 28 days. They say that the Jewish dollar circulates in the Jewish community for 19 days. The Latino dollar circulates in the Latino for 11 days. So that's telling me not only are we not supporting each other, but even if we were supporting each other, right? If you had a business and I go shop at your business, but you still buying from the white man. Right. So really my dollar's only going so far as to you. And so we have to look at the structure of the black dollar and the structure of black businesses. Only 7% of small businesses in the United States are owned by black entrepreneurs, where black people make up 15.5% of the population. So there's a disparity in that too. We got to get that 17 to represent our community. So what do you guys think a little bit about some of those things as far as black finance and supporting black businesses and supporting the black dollar?
Well, I remember watching a program with Killer Mike, and he was basically trying to only support black businesses. Like he was everything, transportation, what he was gonna eat, what he was gonna wear, where he was gonna shop, everything had to be black. And that man was on a bicycle one day. Like it was just so hard for him to only do, he couldn't stay at a hotel if it wasn't black owned. It was so difficult. We really don't, we haven't like spread out into all facets of every single market. We haven't done that. When it comes to beauty, we are a force, in the beauty industry, certain industries, food market, but certain industries, public transportation, I don't know.
Right, I agree with that. As being the business doctor, people coming out of town with like an idea. And in all honesty, it's the same idea. For the most part, either they're gonna, be in beauty, or,
Food,
beauty, like it's always the same business types. It's I know that our community has more to give. I think we don't understand that we could do more than what we see everybody else doing. And normally when somebody wants to do things because they saw, she sell hair, I'm going to go sell hair now too. Or she do lace, I'm going to do lace. Like the business model type is always the same type of models. Outside of things, I go to the hospital. I can open an urgent care. I can have my own hotel. I can have my own rental car. So I can do other things than the norm our community does. So I think we don't really understand that we can do other things, and then we get worried about finances. How do I fund these kind of businesses, these big projects? The money comes into play when there are really so many different opportunities for us to actually get funding. Like they had the Small Women Business Association where you can get the certification and get the funding and grants. There are different ways of getting the money, but again, we don't have the proper education.
Black banks too.
We definitely need black banks. We don't have the proper education on finances and how to do those things. So now we're stuck back in this hot water because we don't know how to cross, get out.
How do you feel about that?
So, I like what everyone is saying. Again, systematically, they say. When you were talking, I had to write that. They say that this. You have to. There's a difference between real facts and statistics. Statistics don't necessarily mean real facts. You have to understand that they place these numbers. And I just did a report in sociology about this. Right? They put these numbers out here because there's an agenda behind it. Right? To get us to believe this. Right? I don't believe that. Right. I don't. And in regard, now I do know that there is a great lack of support. And I won't say that. that we obviously definitely need to tap into more areas. But I also need us to understand why, again, we go back to this education and value, why I need to support you. Why do I need to help your brand grow? Because if I don't believe in my mental, this crab in a barrel mentality, if I could get rid of that, I would realize that by supporting you is going to in turn help my community. Yeah. By supporting you, you're going to put me on or put my other people on. But because we have such a crab in a barrel, this mentality we're talking about, if I help you, that means you're going to get far. And then what about me?
Right.
That's what it
the
is.
Whole thing.
And then we have to understand that there's, I say this, anything, and I learned this, anything that you use, you should be able to make money off of it.
Come on.
Anything. Right? And if you're using this phone, you need to make money off of it. And if you're not, then you need to create a product that can make you money. That's how I look at life. Yeah. So yes, we go to hotels, we need to start looking at, okay, wait, the Hilton, this, I could get a couple, all I need is 5 people that could come up with this amount of money and we build. But if we got to remove that crab in a barrel idea because there's 4 of us sitting here. We all can put $20,000 right here at the table, go somewhere else, get this, and now let's start this big. Now we got a fashion district somewhere else.
Right.
Yes. And to piggyback on what you're saying, right? I was starting to get excited. But to piggyback on you have recognized it, but a problem is with that mentality that we don't understand as a community the power that we have.
Of a sister.
Oh, no, yeah.
We don't understand the power that we have. We are so used to and being complacent in our situation. And we talked about, I'm gonna let you touch on that too, Nelly, these murders and the stuff that's been going on because of lack of self-worth. But the black dollar is $1.1 trillion, which is more than a lot of infrastructures of medium-sized countries.
Right.
But we have not placed the value in our own dollar. We have not placed the value in the power that we can create if we all get into that place.
That word.
Yes.
The word that you used was create.
Yes.
We got coronavirus right now.
Yeah.
Guess what? Let's get behind it. Let's get in front of the narrative.
Yeah.
Let's come up with something. We wear everybody else's T-shirt. Come up with something. You got coronavirus with a question mark. You know they got milk. Something.
Got corona.
You know, got corona and something. Guess what? There is a market for everything. Yep. You design, you like to do blinging and designs, put a whole bunch of bling on a mask, because guess what? I'm going to buy it.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Oh, you want to wear this whole overgarment, even the Muslims. Listen, this is why I'm wearing it this way. I'm not Muslim, but I'm wearing some way, somehow, and I'm just making up stuff right here. But get in front of it. This is how other people, they know that they can create. They don't question their creativity.
Right.
We question, will they buy it? Probably not. Because those aren't the people that's for that market. Right. But I'm still going to do it anyway.
There's going to be somebody out there.
There's a market for it.
You got to know your market when you're doing anything. I mean, there's a market for everything.
And with the commerce of internet now,
market.
It doesn't have to be
You create the demand for it.
Yeah.
You create that demand. There's a demand for this show because of the conversations that's held.
Absolutely.
Other people in Philly aren't having these conversations. You guys created a demand. Had you thought, I wonder if people going to listen. I wonder if you would have never did it.
I don't think we can.
No, but I'm saying had you.
Right.
Because you've gotten to a different place mentally.
Right.
You understand? You said, I'm going to do this regardless. Now the demand is already created for you.
Right. Yeah.
Because you started it anyway. We are creative creatures. That's how do you think we come up? They just said, not too far from me, someone, because I was like, why can't you just take my $100 bill? He was like, they went and used the lottery. Somebody put fake $20 bills in the lottery machine, took the things out and cashed it out. Because how creative, I would have never even thought that the machine would have, how creative, we are so creative. No, seriously, so if we can create negative things.
Yeah.
I know somebody that was making, cutting out pieces of paper for the red box like a DVD and putting it in a case and returning.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, if we can create Kush, we can create Purple Haze marijuana. You are a chemist.
We can create fake IDs and scams, so we should definitely create anything.
If you could create all it, you know how to put this on this marijuana to make me get higher than the sky.
Yeah.
Then you could create something else.
Right.
If we redirect that.
If we redirect that energy.
But now I want to back what she said about people coming together, we got 20, susus. So what people understand, a lot of these really big major real estate buildings, they're not owned by one person. It normally says realty group.
Right.
You know what I mean? So people understand you don't coming together is very, very important. And I do have some women on Instagram. I have seen the credit girl. She has like a women's group now for like Susu, putting together women together with money. It's called what? Females Flipping Houses or something like that. But people are kind of understanding, we got to come together and do this. I can't do this by myself. I can't go buy $1 million property without having someone to help me.
See, I don't know if I agree. It's not that you can't do it by yourself. It'd just be easier if you did it together.
But you know, for the most part, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and for the most part, I think financially, you know, sometimes it's hard for us financially to get there. You know, getting that loan for that $1 million property. But if my girlfriend and her, we all put our money together, now we own this property. Right. And then we take this property, we start owning other property. Because most, like if you see most of these properties, they say realty group. It never says, it always says group. Right. It's a group of people.
It's a group of people who put their
money together and they start buying these major properties.
Yep. But you know, in order to do that, you have to build relationships. Because that's where things, so people start it and then it fall off. Because if you're not business minded, you go in with emotion, somebody rub you wrong, now I don't want to do this
like
business.
That no more,
now guess what? Now, crab in a barrel. We spread this about your character when really we just had a beef over you didn't put cream in my coffee and I got upset and it turned into a whole argument. Right. Now I got everybody else thinking you're this horrible person pulling you down because I just want to elevate. It all goes back to that mentality, right? If I build a relationship with you, we're going to have our moments, but at the end of the day, we're in this for business. Right. That's what it's about. We have to build relationships and not be concerned about, you know, who you are already. If you're a big name, I don't care about hiding and being in the shadow. Right. If you already have a platform, I don't need to do the work now. You built the platform. I'm going to come up under you. We're going to produce this product, and you're just going to be the face of it. But we know on paper, that's why we have to be intelligent. On paper, we own it. I don't care what the people say. But on paper, we know we own it. It's building relationships. We don't even know how to do that.
Let me offer you this. What do you guys think about when someone actually, because we were talking about, someone's trying to rise and you don't want them to rise and leave you behind and you're pulling them down. What about the ones that get out and then they're like, I made it. I don't know why you can't make it. You know, people in your own family sometimes. You know, you may have that one auntie with the furs and the bands, and everybody else is in the projects. And she's not helping anybody. She's not teaching anybody how to make it, how to get out. Do you think, because I was watching a speech that Farrakhan was giving, and he made it seem like there was a buffer. The ones that got out, those crabs that got out, they would then become a buffer between the angry black masses and the white people of power and influence. And for the white people, they appreciated that little buffer of the ones that got out kind of being between them and these angry black masses. But I feel like it's kind of their duty to also turn around and help. But they're so scared about, I guess, falling back in the barrel or winding up like everybody else behind them that they don't want to even get close. How do you guys feel about that?
If I may, with that. Yes. So I think a lot of times what happens when we do have those successful, not all of them, because a lot of black people, when they get successful, they reach back. But then you do have some people that have that mentality is, you didn't help me get here. Right. You know what I'm saying? You didn't help me get here, so I don't owe you nothing. And I think a lot of times that's kind of what happens. Not that it's a great thing. I think that's an awful thing, because I think if each one reach one and we can all pull one person out, and that one person pulls another person out, then as a community we get better. But a lot of us don't have that mentality to say, well, you know, I did this on my own. Now you're a business doctor. I done created this business, and they got 6 businesses, and one of them about to blow, okay? But I guarantee that my sister will figure out a way to create a platform for the rest of us to go with her. Exactly. But not everybody has that person, that thought process. You know what I'm saying?
That's the whole you went shoot me at the gym thing, whatever the case may be. I think some people do have that thing like, you know, if you've been sitting here and you've been putting all this work and working hard, and everybody was sitting there and like, oh yeah, whatever girl, you know, and you putting all this work and then you finally get there and everybody like, oh wait, I want to come too. I think sometimes people get to that point too where it's like, this whole time when I was doing it, you didn't want nothing to do with me. No parts to it. But now that I'm up here, now you want to be, hey friend, oh sis. So I think that comes with that too. Like, you know what I mean?
You know how I feel about sis.
There are people who actually get up there sometimes and just be like, whatever. But there are people who actually been in the jungle, grinding it out, and nobody cared about nothing they was doing, turned their back, turned their nose up, until they got to that point. Then it was, hey, and now you want to act funny because you got money. No.
Because people, so a couple things I just want to say. One, in regards to that family thing, I feel like I look at family totally different. Just because you have the same bloodline and you have the same broad nose and your last name is the same, I inherited you by default. You understand? That is not, my family are the people I choose to build a relationship with. So those are the people that I owe. And I think we make this owe you personally. No, I owe my community because God has blessed me, and I owe it to the other generation and the other people. I feel like but I also agree with you because I've been in that situation, and I still have it, where people don't believe until now that I'm rising. But what I think we should do is not make it a personal give back, but you do something about opening up a school. So now listen, if you wanna, you the family member that here's a job for you. You got to start just like I did, because if I give it to you, I used to be a stripper. And I didn't value the money that I made. And when you're a drug dealer, you don't value the money because it's so fast. It's an abundance. Yes. But when you have to work for it, now you'll understand the muscle that I took in. Yes, I might be the auntie with all the furs, but let me tell you how I got here. Let me show you got to start by cleaning first. Right. See, too many people, I also feel in our community, feel like we owe them. No, you owe it to yourself to show me that you want. I'm not going to just give it to you, because guess what? If I just give you $100, like I just gave my kids this money, they probably... I see one of them sipping on something right now. She just blew that, that $50 on food because it has no value to her. But if you had to work for it, when I had to start working for SEPTA after I was a stripper, now I made a whole lot of money stripping. I worked for a whole week, 40 hours. My check was $411. I said, hold it. Something ain't right. I called my grandma. Grandma, they who is Medco? Who is these people? They got my money. Who is these people? Because when I was there, I just took my money on a Thursday night. I bounced on them a little bit and went on with my bag. Yeah. With $411, I can't. Right. And so, and that's how I'll accept that I ended up going back to stripping, because my mentality wasn't there, and I was used to a certain amount of money, but it didn't have value. You know what I mean? So I didn't hold on to it. But I think if you own your business, don't just give me no job, because like we were talking about the restaurant, don't just hire me because I'm your folks. Right. Let me work for it. Let me start off as a server. Let me start, not a dishwasher. I don't do no dishes. But let me start from the bottom. Right. That's what it is. Right. Yeah. You get what I mean? It's not that
people don't want to start. If you they want to be like sitting next to you at the award show.
You don't respect the process. Right. You don't respect the process, but you want progress. You got to put in this work. I tell you all the time, to whom much is given, much is required. Yes. So I didn't get here by doing nothing. My life paid for it, and that's how we get crab in a barrel mentality. Yeah. We get jealous of that other person. Yep. We feel like, how they get here? How they got a podcast? They ain't nobody. How all of a sudden they on BET? Because they built a relationship with somebody, right? Because now they put it. You don't know the tears she cried. You don't know what work he put in. You don't know how many friends he lost. To whom much is given, much is required. They put in that work. So now it is their time. It is their season. Your season will come, but you got to put in that work.
It's just like the old parable. You give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. You teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. So I mean, that's that situation. You have to, you gotta give me chills up in here.
Yeah. She's speaking some sermons around here.
About to pass the plate. So I got a question for all three of you guys before we end this topic. I do have a question for all three of you guys, and just your own opinions. How do we curb? I don't think it'll ever stop, but how do we curb that crabs in the barrel mentality, Nick?
I think what we all have been saying for the past, 45 minutes. I don't know how long we've been talking, but we rambling. But education, key, not being jealous, kind of when you start to have those feelings come up, kind of pushing those back down, because it's not that you can't. You can too. Yeah. Let's all do it together. Let's all hold hands and we all rise together. Unifying, I ain't gonna say galvanizing, because you be trying. Say I use the word galvanize too much.
I
love it.
Just blowing his cab, honey.
Okay. But yeah, just unifying, not looking at someone else's success as your loss or defeat, and education.
Yeah, what you think?
I agree. Education, embracing your melanin. Like, we're black. We have black magic. We was kings and queens. We could do anything. Damn. And and it's okay for your brother and your sister to have more than you. Like, it's okay. I want you to have more. Okay. Teach me. You know what I'm saying? That's where education comes from. Somebody has to get there and teach everybody how to get there themselves. I think it's about education.
Yeah. I think the conversation has to continue. I think we have to start having more of these types of conversations, and not just here, but on a continual basis. I also think that we have to stop being comfortable. I had to get uncomfortable with where I was. I had to be very honest with who I was. I had to be honest with the people that was around me. I don't want to be around another broke person. So I don't have no friends right now, because everybody around me was broke. And I can't I can't keep entertaining that you're trying, you're on your way, you're about to, you got the. I can't do it. You understand what I'm saying? No, I can't do it. So listen, I'm gonna need you to be on Do Not Disturb. My whole life is on Do Not Disturb right now. I'm on airplane mode. I got to work. I got to be away from everybody. But you have to get frustrated and be real with where you are and say, I want something different, right? That. All the education, because once you get to that place, now I start reaching for the education, and we have to stop being comfortable being mediocre, right? That's the thing. We're comfortable in mediocrity. So if I realize that I want something more, I'm going to start to come to a real estate class. I'm not going to keep coming to the same women empowerment conversations because it's the same hoorah. Do you want to be motivated or do you really want to move? That's the difference. Everybody, you buying these tickets to all these events. Everybody's asking, why didn't you do an event this year? Because I don't want to do the same thing. I didn't spoke already. You ain't moved. I'm over it. Right. You understand? Let's go into why do you think they have like real estate classes, like these events at the hotels are free? They know we ain't showing up. We quick to put a dollar on, this women empowerment event come through, it's $20 because they know we gonna flood that. Because we all for the hype. The minute we stop wanting to be hyped and I just want to be taught, and I'm willing to learn because I'm frustrated in who I am. I'm frustrated at where I am. I'm tired of looking in the 4-block radius. It's 30 Chinese stores. Where's your store? You could cook. Yeah. Why you don't have a restaurant? Right. Why you don't take them food stamps? You keep selling them. Won't you make some platters? Let's be real here. And that's how you start. Right. Everybody talk about that barbecue sauce you make. Why don't you go ahead and get an LLC? And it don't stop with an LLC, but let's take an LLC. And instead of you going to go get those bundles, let's call the business doctor. Listen, I don't have $400 for a session, but can I start off with just $100? It's called investment. Yeah. That's what we have to understand. Absolutely. And I think that's how we would change it.
Awesome. I agree.
For me, and all that was amazing. But for me, I think to curb the problem, you have to recognize that there is one.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I think we have to recognize that there is a problem. Absolutely. If there's a crabs in the barrel mentality, we have to recognize the mentality, change the mentality, and change the narrative, create a new mentality, right? So I think, like you said, to continue to have these conversations, it's imperative. Yep. It's key. And even if we got 150 views, hopefully those 150 will tell another person that we have 300 conversations happening. Right. We have to change the narrative. We have to have those conversations. And then once you change the narrative, or at least once you try to change the narrative, you have to then don't be a perpetuator of what you just tried to change. A lot of times we will say, well, this crab's in the barrel, yada, yada, yada. But then we be the main ones pulling each other down.
And we the crab. I was the crab. Yeah. Before I could talk about crab, I was the biggest crab. I was a king crab. Okay, Alaskan Dungeness. You understand me? Okay. I was king of the crabs because I didn't understand the value that I had. I felt like everybody else. I was in that mentality of comparison. Oh, why am she ain't even as good as me as speaking. How she on so-and-so? But once I realized that to whom much is given, much is required. Once I realized that I do have value, once I realized, hold up, you are so much bigger than what you think. Right. Once I changed that in my own mind, but I was a crab, I would be rooting for you out front, and inside be like, this is something. Because remember we spoke before the cameras came on, and I said, don't put nothing else out there in the air, because the king of the air or the prince of the air is the enemy, and he can only kill, steal, destroy what I put out there. So I started to move in silence, because I understand. Because once you tell me something, oh, you're about to do X, Y, Z, I'm put a smile, but the spirit that's attached to me might be jealous. Right. And now you wonder why that didn't happen, because I was praying, and not literally on my knees praying, but internally, my spirit was so angry that you told me that. My spirit went forth, and I connected with somebody else that's angry about it. Right. And it killed your whole situation.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, just recognizing your value and realizing your value ain't predicated on his value. Okay. Boom. But, woo, that conversation.
It's good.
Thank you for having me.
You ain't going yet. We're going to include you in the next conversation. You're going to be here for a while. Well, no, we not, because some of us got to work.
We have to work, yes.
But we are going to move on to our next segment. We are going to talk about the melanin moment.
Yes, melanin moment.
Melanin moment. So this is a little segment that we just recognize somebody or something or some project that's just been great.
That's black.
That's great.
That's black.
That's black. Gotta be
black. That's why we call it melanin. Melanin moment.
Or brown.
Or like a light brown,
beige,
or like caramel,
well,
butter pecan Rican. Yeah,
so I got somebody for you guys, and this is just somebody I want to recognize. I feel like he's done so much, and just has not had the support or the recognition that, and probably because a lot of his efforts have not been necessarily in the United States, but have been abroad. So I want to talk about Akon.
Okay.
I want to talk about Akon. So Akon, he's from Senegal. Well, his family's from Senegal. He was born in St. Louis and raised in Jersey. But so he started the Akon Lights Africa. I don't know if it's a foundation or a company or a corporation or whatever. But his goal was to light up 1 million homes. And this man lit up 600 million homes.
Okay.
600 million.
600 million homes in Africa on solar power. That's one thing that Africa never does have a shortage of is sun. Okay?
Yes.
Hello, melanin. So, yeah, absolutely. So he ended up doing 600 million homes, and his goal was 1 million homes. He's focused, he started in West Africa. Now he's in 14 different African countries. But he's an activist, a philanthropist. Robbie's going to put a nice clip of something about Akon. We'll figure it out. But like I said, I mean, I just think that even because our melanin does not just it goes beyond what we see in the United States. It goes beyond what we have here, and that's somebody who has really taken his money. Mind you, he's sold 35 million records worldwide. He discovered Lady Gaga. He has his own record label, so he's made the money here.
Right.
But he's taken that money and he's taken it and went back to back to his roots. And that talked a little bit about what in a big way.
Child.
And that
Shout
talks
out
a
to
little
Akon.
bit.
Yes.
Shout out to Akon.
Lighten up
and that
the
kind of
world.
talks a little bit about
Right.
that what we were talking about in our last segment about that crabs in the barrel. He's not that crab in the barrel. He took what he had, what he amassed here, recognized what he could do here, and took it back and brought it to his people where they needed it. So and just another little fun fact, he actually has been warranted from the Senegalese government. He's going to have his own city.
Oh,
My God.
Yes, Akon City. The government has awarded him 2,000 acres to create his own city. That project has started in, I think it was like 2017, 18. They said it's going to be a 15 to 20 year project, but that man will have his own city.
And his own currency.
And his own currency. He has Akon, so it's going to be a crypto city.
Acoins, okay.
Yeah, it's going to be a crypto city.
Wakanda
Let me
for
get
real.
some
I
invest
love
in
it.
some Acoins.
Yes.
Creation.
Yes.
That's
So,
key.
yeah,
Can
so
you
that's
invest
just,
in the Acoins?
I think you might be able to.
Can you
We got
invest
to
in this
look
city
at it.
too?
Okay.
You know, when you
Might
yeah.
wanna get a
So
little
I just wanted to,
condo.
Might
shoot
wanna
that
get a little
out
stock in there.
we're always talking about Black history and what somebody did in 1800. This man is doing it right now.
Right now.
History.
Right now,
Yeah.
he's creating it.
history.
Right.
He's creating it.
love
So
His
I just-
story is history.
Yeah, absolutely. So I
Come
just
on in
wanted
here,
to
play on
come
words.
on,
Say
come
that
on,
again
play
one more time. There we
You
go.
better play.
So I wanted to recognize that. I really wanted to recognize
Yes.
that and recognize Akon for his great contributions to our culture, our heritage,
you, Akon.
our
Thanks,
roots.
Akon.
Yes.
Thanks, Akon.
We see you.
I'm
We
locked
definitely see you.
up. They won't let me out. But thank you for listening. That's Akon's our melanin moment today. But I know we have a strong topic for in other news.
In other
news.
news.
In other news.
Oh, child.
Here we
Okay.
go.
So
tea
you
is so
have
cold.
to have been under a rock if you don't know what's going on with Dwayne Wade and his child, Zach. Not the tie.
Sorry.
His child.
Yes.
Okay? Because this. Okay, so if you don't know, former son, Zion Wade, is 12 years old, has asked to be referred to in feminine pronouns, she, her, and has expressed to her parents that she wants to transition. She feels like she's always been a girl, and Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union have supported this. And it's been like a huge, he's gone on interviews and talk shows. The latest was Ellen.
I think it's what every parent should be, is what you're being right now, which is unconditionally loving your child and supporting your child in whoever they are. I mean, there are so many parents that are just, oh, you're not going the way I imagined or wanted you to be, and freak out, and you're so loving and supportive of Zaya, and what a special child she is.
Yes, she is. She is. Thank you so much for that. First of all, me and my wife Gabrielle Union, we are proud. When I say proud, we are proud parents of a child in the LGBTQ+ community, and we're proud allies as well. And we take our roles and our responsibility as parents very seriously. So when our child comes home with a question, when our child comes home with an issue, when our child comes home with anything, it's our job as parents to listen to that, to give them the best information that we can, the best feedback that we can. And that doesn't change because sexuality is now involved in it. So once Zaya, our 12-year-old, came home, and first Zion, everybody, I don't know if everyone knows, originally named Zion born as a boy, came home and said, hey, so I want to talk to you guys. I think going forward, I'm ready to live my truth. And I want to be referenced as she and her. I would love for you guys to call me Zaya. And so internally, now is our job to, one, go out and get information, to reach out to every relationship that we have. My wife reached out to everybody on the cast of Pose. And we're just trying to figure out as much information we can to make sure that we give our child the best opportunity to be, her best self.
I know he quoted or tweeted, "We don't claim to have all the answers, but we are committed to learning and loving and being good allies and better parents." There's been a lot of outrage, and I'll tell you who's against it. Lil Boosie. First of all, Boosie always got something to say about somebody, okay?
I ain't mad at him.
Trying to stay relevant.
Boosie made this clip, and he was like,
I gotta say something about this shit, bro. Dwayne Wade, you gone too fucking far, dog. That is a male. A 12-year-old. At 12, they don't even know what their next meal gonna be. They don't have shit figured out yet. He might meet a woman, anything, at 16 and fall in love with her. But his dick be gone. How you gonna... Like, bro, you going too far, dog. Don't cut his dick off, bro. Like, bro, for real. If he gonna be gay, let him be gay. But don't cut his dick off, bro.
yeah, that's what he said. Don't cut his dick off. He said, what if at 16 he decides he falls in love with a girl? That's what Boosie said. So don't cut his dick off. Ricky Smiley said, because there was a picture that was circulating where they were all hugged up and he had like little acrylics on at 12. He had little acrylics and like a little crop t-shirt. And Ricky Smiley said, basically, while you're a child, remain in a child's place, and as a parent, where do you draw the line? And then he also shared this little clip that said, and this is where he caught a little bit of flack for it. It said, black boys, I want to wear locks, and society, so you're suspended, you thug, and then black boy, how about a dress? And then society had all these celebratory emojis and painting fingernail emojis and all that kind of stuff.
That was deep right there.
Oh yes, oh
Wait
yes.
to get into that.
Oh yes. And then Young Thug said, all I want to say is God don't make mistakes, but hey, live your true self. And Waka Flocka said,
Oh, you got all the quotes.
oh
Wait,
yeah,
Young
I
Thug
was
is the one-
finding out what the
Young
people
Thug
were
wears
saying about
dresses,
it.
right? He's the one that wears the dresses
Right.
and stuff.
I was like, Young Thug, sit down. But he since took that down. And then Waka Flocka just said, he don't care who's gay or trans or anything like that, but why are you plastering this like you're some kind of superhero? Like, why is this being plastered? Like, he don't care. So I just want y'all opinion on what's going on. In other news.
In other news.
Who gonna go first?
Okay,
Just like everybody
get
got
in it now.
I got something to
Hey.
say. Nelly, won't you go? You a mother. And Ty, you a mother too. That wasn't no slide.
I sure am. You see him up there?
I don't think that this is a good thing. I feel like, I have nothing wrong with, what your sexuality is. I just think at 12 years old, it's just too much. At 12 years, the way that the TV and media is going now, it's like they're pushing so many kids to even just be confused about who they are anyway. It's too much confusion. At 12 years old, I'm sorry, as my son, you're not wearing a dress. I'm not going to call you she. Now, when you turn 18 and you get older and you really are true in who you are, then that's when we'll walk. But at 12 years old, I feel like you don't even know who you are yet. You're still becoming who you are. Mm-hmm. And with so much going on, pushing these agendas with all this stuff, I'm not even sure if you really know who you are. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to make no life-altering decisions on you when you don't even, no. My 12-year-old, no.
Now, let me be clear. There was no talk of surgeries or anything like that.
You're not wearing a dress. You're not wearing nails. Okay. You're going to be a boy because you are a boy. I'm not saying I go out and join the football team and do all this other kind of stuff, but you're a boy. No. Just okay. No.
Okay, here's the thing.
No.
Okay, my issue is a little bit what you said, that at 12 years old, you haven't lived enough life to make life-altering decisions, to me. And I'm all about homosexuality, that, to me, that's not even a question. The pronouns he, she, I can't do that. I think that as a parent, because I have kids too, but as a parent, you would have, like you said, you got to get to 18. Like let's live out the adolescence. Let's live out the hormone changes that go through our body. Hopefully we'll have a conversation about black health and those vaccines and those things that they're injecting in it. Oh boy. But please live out, at least give me to 18, 20, 21. Let things that 21. Yeah, because we are fully grown and developed, and our minds haven't developed until we're in our early 20s. That's men and female.
Buying cigarettes. They can go out there and get a pack of cigarettes, and they can't decide. Okay,
but at the end of the day, I don't feel like I don't think that the parents should discourage it. I just don't think it should be something that's encouraged by the parents. That's Ty.
So I agree. As a mother, I have a son. It would break my heart, to be very honest, because I understand what the world looks at a homosexual. Let's not forget that. So I question the parenting now. Because if we understand that, why would you even want your child to go forth and do that, knowing the ridicule and judgment that's going to come as such a... Is a 12-year-old mentally prepared for that type of judgment and that cruelty? Absolutely not, because there are adults who are homosexuals who kill themselves because of being bullied, right?
Well, no, sorry, just cut you off real quick. There was just last year that 14-year-old got bullied, homosexual, I think it was in Atlanta. And he committed suicide because of that fact. To your point.
But
that just happened last year.
So you're saying 12? I can't remember what I was doing at 12, but I know I didn't know what I wanted to do. I wasn't even, wasn't even a thought. I also want to, so I believe it's too early. Also, as a parent, one thing about I can love you to life. But it doesn't mean I agree with you, right? I can support you. It doesn't mean that I agree. And by me having the stance that I am the adult, I am the mother, you're not. And again, you're like you said, you're not wearing a dress and wearing nails because you are a boy.
Right.
Now, I'm also not that same person that says that, that being gay goes against God. First of all, God created me and man wrote the Bible. So how you feel and identify with yourself is one thing, but let's get to a mature level mentally where you can make that decision.
Right.
And so cutting, when they get to that point of wanting to totally transition, I don't agree with that. I that part, you're going totally against the makeup that God has made you. Now, if your mental says that you're attracted to other women, then that's something different. But I don't now want to all of a sudden grow a hookup. You know what I mean? 'Cause we're here.
Not a hookup.
And then now I want to talk about the agenda, though. What's the agenda behind it? Because why choose a celebrity family, right? Because we talked about it earlier. We are overly populated. So if we push this agenda of homosexuals to a greater level now you have all these children who now are looking at their celebrity and say, oh, well, now this is what I want to do as well. Because would the same attention be given if it was my son? Right. Absolutely not. Right?
Well, wait a minute now. And the only reason why I'm disagreeing is because, I don't know if you guys watch TLC, but I Am Jazz Jennings, she transitioned at 6 years old. And this is 6 seasons she's been on television.
But I want to say this. Did you see how we just all said what?
I didn't say what because I knew about it.
But we say what to you because we don't know what you're talking about. But everybody knows a Dwayne Wade.
Right.
Because of that celebrity.
Well, yeah, but it's also because it's the black community. This is the first time.
So who's Jazz?
Jazz, she ain't black.
Oh, see? We don't know that
about her. You don't know Jazz.
Because
Jazz was transitioning at 6 years old and was black and on television, you would know about it.
It's just too much of these. It's like everything is unisex now. Everything has no identity to male or female. Everything is just so put together as one. And these children are watching these shows and they're seeing all of this stuff, and it is messing up their. Like I watch my daughter and I watch what even with her, like she goes through this really big tomboy phase, and I was worried, what's going on with her. And I watch what she's watching, and I go on like the TikTok thing. And a lot of these little girls look like boys. They look like boys.
It's
and
scary.
I'm like, what is going? Like, you know what I mean? No, it's just that it's just too much confusion.
Well,
It's confusion.
We did a show on the effeminization of black men, so I don't want to get too far into the feminization because go watch the show.
Boom.
Right.
That part.
But I do want to address, I think where I would like to keep the conversation, I think where Nick was going is, what do we feel about the raising of the children in that regards, if I'm not mistaken? Could we touched on the feminization. So Nick, what do you feel about that topic? Because you're going to come from a different perspective.
Yeah, of course. I feel like, I don't know about y'all, because, I've heard at 12 years old, I wasn't thinking. I lost my virginity at 15. Well before 15, I knew who I wanted to lose my virginity to. Well, not who, like, specifically, but, like, what gender I wanted to lose it to. I was not confused when it happened at 15. I was not like, what am I doing? I was like, oh, things are going kind of how I thought they would go. That's what happened with me at 15. No shade. So I've never dated a girl. I've never been involved with a girl. I've never had sex with a girl. This is maybe too much information. Anyway, I knew what I was interested in from Jump Street. And some children are like that. Other children may be more impressionable, maybe like you were saying, TikTok or whatever. Maybe other children are more impressionable or malleable at that age. But for me, I knew exactly what I wanted, and the support of my family at an early age, I didn't feel like I had it, so I did not come out until I was 15. I would have come out a lot earlier if I felt supported
but
by my
gender
family.
identity and sexual identity are two different conversations.
Right.
They're two different conversations. We're talking about this young boy.
The point I was trying to make by saying that was that saying that these kids don't know until they're 18, 21 years old, kids know a lot more about themselves than you give them credit for. That's what I was trying to make the point of.
And I can respect that,
Yeah.
but again, the gender identity, that's a hormonal thing. That's what. So that's kind of where I'm. That's kind of where I'm at. That gender identity crisis is a hormonal thing, and I feel like if you haven't gone through all of your hormonal things, or I don't know what the word is, if you haven't gone through all your hormonal transitions, it's hard for me as a parent to get behind a sex change or a transition. Or
But we're not talking about a sex change.
Well, he wants to be a girl,
Well, he
right?
wants to be a
about
girl.
we're talking about expression. We're talking about what you identify as. We're not talking about somebody's gonna cut his dick off. We're not talking about that. We're talking about if she wants to identify as a girl
That's a sex
and
change.
be.
She just ain't remove the organs because you're operating with a different sex. Is that
You're
not
operating
it?
as a
You just
woman.
don't
never
have a
change your
penis.
sex.
But I think that
But you're
this child wants
operating
to.
in it. You're operating in that.
Right, but
just
that's
because you
something
didn't physically cut it off.
Right, because it's reversible. Like what Boosie
You
said.
made me put
Wait.
the
Like what
teeth.
Boosie said. If at 16 she decides, you know what, that was a crazy phase, and I'm glad y'all supported me, but at 12 years old, I didn't know what the hell I wanted, and now I'm 16 and I like football, and I want to date all the cheerleaders. She could do that.
I mean, as a parent, you can't just shun your child, like, go in the room, I don't like you anymore.
Right.
But it has to be a limit to my support as far as, like, how far I'm going to let you go. And I feel like the fingernails and the dress and everything, that's a limit that we're not going to go. Now, again, I'm not going to force you to do manly activities and stuff like that because I understand that you don't identify with those kind of things. But you're still going to wear, like, boys' clothing. You're not, you know what I mean? It has to be like it can't just be you're out here
I'm just
dressing
always
them.
concerned about the trauma because when I see these like
And you go to
65-year-old,
therapy. And you go to therapy.
What's their name? Caitlyn. The Bruce Jenners of the world. When I see these like 60-something-year-old men,
I don't think he really was. I
talking
think that was
about-
an agenda. Like, I don't believe that whole.
it's a lot of Bruce Jenners that's not named Bruce Jenner out there transitioning after they done become grandfathers. Talking about now I can finally live my truth. And it was like you were like feeling repressed your whole life because you never felt like it was okay.
But at what point did the parent become the parent? It's like, no, this is how it's going to work in my house.
That's just me. My son, he's 11. And I don't play no games, right? I don't know how to raise a man, but I know what a man's supposed to do and how he's supposed to dress. For instance, we went to the store the other day, and I bought him some jeans. He hates wearing jeans unless it is stretch. Everything. You're not wearing that in my house. You're not, because for me, stretch jeans, when we were kids, men wore, the real firm jeans. We stretch, if you felt a pair of stretch jeans, it was automatically, that was our girls. I need you to know there's a clear line. Now, when you get older, you can buy what you want. You're not wearing that here. And now when you get older, if he needs therapy, guess what? We got the best insurance. He can have whatever he needs. But as far as my house, it ain't happening. It's absolute, and that's just what, because I have my beliefs. And you're going to go under those until you are old enough to stand on your own beliefs. At 12, you can't stand on your own
12
beliefs.
12 is just too early for, I just think 12 is just too early. I think, again, a balance. It's having a balance with, listen, okay, I'm not going to push you into football and all this other stuff, but you're not wearing a dress and nail polish and stuff like that. It sounds good
now till you getting bullied in the bathroom.
Right.
That's trauma.
Then
and
that's
now
more
who you
trauma.
blame? You blame me for allowing you to do it now.
But the crazy thing is, if you can withstand that, because I had a girlfriend who actually did go through the whole transition process and everything, and it was so hard.
As a kid?
No, she was like early 20s.
Okay.
But when I met her, she was working at Nordstrom, had a nice little apartment, and she went through losing her apartment, being on the streets, on the corner, selling, herself. And I remember having conversations with her, and I said, why would you she said, I'd rather live my truth as a girl in a cardboard box than be in a mansion as a guy. And I was like, wow. That's what it feels like to not be true to the gender that you think you are.
And that's fine. When you get 18 and you get old enough to understand feelings,
you can be on the street.
You can do all that you need to do.
And let me speak to that too. The word that caught me when you were making that statement was if. If I can withstand that. But not all the kids have that option of if.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Meaning the young man who
mentally capable of taking on all that.
Right, who committed suicide.
Stuff,
he wasn't able to deal with the bullying.
And you don't know it until you in it.
Right.
You can't project
I just don't know if I would want to risk
You don't. Absolutely not. Even therapy, trauma, I'd rather you deal with the trauma, we get therapy, than you actually go through this. And now that's a whole different animal we're dealing with now. When you talk about this cyberbullying and all this bullying and all this that you got to deal with, because the if factor. If I change this, let me put all this out here. Do you think you can handle it? And you might. It's a lot of things I thought I could handle till I got in it. And I'm like, whoa. Now I can't. Now you backpedal, but guess what? That stain is now still on you.
Right.
I as a parent, I don't want to keep going because as a parent, I wouldn't want to deal with the if.
Yeah. I would want to do
the if my child came on the other side of that if, I don't think I would be able to live with that.
What's the if that you told him yes, and now everybody bullied him, and you came home and now he done hung himself in the bathroom. Now you talk about trauma. What about the trauma of you as a parent? Why did I allow them to do this? Did I do
It's about protection. As a parent, you have to protect your child from the reality of the world that we live in.
Yeah.
I mean,
granted, the best way we know how.
Right.
And none of us are experts, and we all have a way of doing it.
None of us are experts. We all have our own way of doing it.
You have to protect your child because this world is crazy, and they do crazy things, and it's not dismissing your child's feelings. It's that they're not there yet with it. And
why are they handling? I don't get why they're like the other person. Why are you doing it out in the open? This is a private. Some things need to be private. Everything don't need to be for social media. Yes, this ain't something I would even have out there.
I think they're trying to make a statement saying that my kid is going through this. If your kid is going through this, is how we handle it.
So many kids that's trying to transition and going through this identity problem now. It's just like. It doesn't seem organic.
Crisis.
It doesn't seem organic anymore. It just seems like this is something else. It doesn't seem organic. I
think, a lot of the kids think it's like a fad. They don't understand the real lifestyle of a homosexual.
Right.
I don't. You know what I mean? I always like bones in my fish, as I say, because, to keep it clean. I always like bones in my fish so that I know. I've never found somebody I'd be like, dang, I just never, know what I mean? But I couldn't imagine. Because I've never walked in the shoes of a homosexual woman or male, but maybe if he's that son, I'm gonna still say son, sat around other homosexual men because he wants to go to a girl. So if he goes to and start to hear those, maybe you might reconsider doing this change right here. Because it has to be the adult ones, because the younger ones make it's so cool, but adults know the real reality. Like, listen, it ain't all peachy and cream.
Yeah, I think it's a big phase going on too. These young kids, like a new style with them, with this whole what's it called, fluid? Yeah. You're like fluid or whatever the case. It's a lot of phases going on too with them. So I don't think they do understand.
I'm gonna phase mine right on out. I'm gonna tell you that.
Homosexuality and everything, It's the style and it's the look. They don't really understand the consequences of that look or the trauma that you could put on yourself with that. And again, as a parent, it's our job to protect our children and educate them on what's going on.
Our responsibility.
I know we all want to be the supportive parent, yes, go ahead and do it, but you have to be a limit to listen now. Right. We ain't gonna go ahead and do this, right?
It ain't happening.
It ain't happening. It has to be a balance. I know.
Well, I'm
I
still the cheerleader, child.
First of all,
Okay.
everything is so
I'm
quiet.
still
Like,
the
I'm just
cheerleader.
waiting because
Okay, and I said what I said.
I said, go ahead, Nene.
That part, I said what I said.
And it ain't changing.
No, it is what it is. We all, but we
listen.
don't always agree to disagree. That's why we
Yeah,
love
and
Here's the
that's-
Thing.
that's why
And you
we're
guys
Here's the
tell us
Thing.
at home what you think, comment, subscribe, like. Let us know.
yeah.
You know, I'm sure this is a polarizing topic. That's why it's
Yeah,
in other
people are
news.
going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And when you talk about it, come talk with us about it. We, like I always say, we like to talk with you, not to you. So
Yes,
please
always.
give us all
Yes.
your opinions. We're going to put links to Ty, the Great Show, on that, right?
The Great University.
University.
Great
Yes.
University. Ooh, Jesus.
It is a great show.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
talk about
Definitely a
it.
great show. I love that little voice.
So we're gonna put our
Let me tell you
links
something.
to her. Just definitely check her out. It's a great time. She's very powerful, very moving. If you haven't already seen
Yes.
the
Thank
show,
you.
and we are just again blessed to have you, and we appreciate
Thank you guys so
being
much. I
here.
really had a good time.
We fell in love the first time we saw you at Ash book signing. He
Yes.
was like,
Yes.
yes.
Shout out to Ash. Hey, Ash.
And I walked right up to him, didn't even know them two. I'm like, here, hold my thing. I just
Yeah.
because it was like a connection. Like, oh, okay, these words I could definitely just hear, and I could keep moving. So yeah,
Yeah,
the-
'cause
the
you had to
feeling
go
was the same.
pray.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen, I might have the most pottiest mouth, but one thing for certain, two things for sure. I'm always before I hit the stage, give God glory.
Yeah.
I need to go talk to you first, Lord. What you want me to say?
But thank you. We gotta, we're gonna wrap this one up. This has been a powerful show.
It
It
really was.
gave me chills at some
I
point.
know I
when
got
we were
a
talking,
couple
you
chills
know what
here
I
and
mean?
there. I'm like, oh, okay.
So again, we thank you for your
fix
support.
my
We're
voice.
gonna move right on in to the Black Light.
Light.
So you know we love Black Light. So Black Light is when we highlight a business, black business, movement, just anything going on in our community that you need to know about. So today we have the Great University.
Great University. Yes.
So, you know, we
Thank you
never
so
have a
much.
black light where, the person's actually
Actually
here.
here.
So this week we do have her here. She can tell you all about her business, how to find her, what she does, and everything under the sun.
Thank you guys. Again, just before I even take my own moment, I want to say thank you. This is really good. This is a conversation starter. This show needs to be in the homes of everyone.
Thank you.
For sure.
Thanks
I
so
really
much.
enjoyed myself. And I've been on a lot of different things, but
Yeah.
this here, I felt so at home.
Oh.
And I really,
thank
really
you.
enjoyed it. I didn't feel like I need to be politically correct. I could just state how I felt, and I
No, we're
loved
not
it.
politically correct
so
at all.
thank you for being, so welcoming. But yes, I am the Great University. The Great University has taken so many turns. I have to be honest. I do marketing and branding, but now since the weight loss surgery and since I've been, really working out so heavy, it has turned into a whole nother movement. But primarily, the Great University is all about a branding agency. It's about helping people or businesses to brand. I don't like to use the word small business because a business is only as small as you believe it is. So
Right. Say that.
I help businesses expand by doing promos, doing videos, putting them on my platform. And yes, your intro, I am a powerful speaker and I own that. That's my gift. But my talent is branding and helping businesses get to the next level. I enjoy what I do, but in this season, to be honest, God don't have me doing it. It's not, and at first I was questioning it, like, Lord, are we disconnected? Because I do some things. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the Lord get mad at me, and okay, Jesus, we still on the same page here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, but it wasn't that. I believe that in this season, He's just taking me on this fitness and this health kick, and that's how I developed Better Babes Fit, which is an organization for women only to transform their minds, their bodies, and their bank accounts.
I like that.
And that's what it's about, Better Babes Fit. And the fit is not just physically, but fall into transformation. So it's Better Babes Fit, and then I still have the Great University, and I'm just trying to bring them two together. So if people need branding and all of that good stuff, I'm definitely your girl to do it. You need promo. I enjoy that.
I love
all
your
my
videos.
and my
Yes,
skits.
I love your skits.
And then on Wednesday, I'm going to give you a call, and I'm going to tell you how when God is putting you on a whole nother platform, he sets it all up. That's how I know he doesn't want me speaking right now. He has definitely put me in this health and wellness thing. But I told you I move in silence. Wednesday, mid-afternoon, Lord willing, is when I can make this big announcement.
I'm excited about that.
Ready?
I am.
Let me set my timer.
It is. It's interesting you said such a timer. Yeah, you're gonna need to. But for real. So it's just really a movement, and I question the evolvement in it because you look at business and you're supposed to you're supposed to evolve. You're supposed to grow. And you're supposed to change. Still keep the platform, but I'm changing. I used to be so raunchy, but now on my platform, I want significance. I want substance. I don't want to just keep talking to y'all for shit.
It's all right. It's okay. You can say that.
I said,
I know.
but and giggles. You know what I mean? Shits and giggles, right? Because I've done that, and I know how to build a brand on that. But to go back to the conversations we had in the first place is, in order for I've got you all your attention in.
Yeah.
I got y'all attention. Now let me bring you up because I know where I am. I can't lower where I am just to keep making y'all stay tuned. But I got your attention, so now I want to bring you up to my level, and that's what I want to do now with the Great University. That's the brand itself.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I love you as a speaker. You are very.
Oh, she was
Your
so good,
speaking,
y'all.
it touched when we went to that event, everybody in there like they was ready to bust out in tears. You had everybody in there ready to cry, change their life. Like you're a very powerful speaker. Like
You
that
can
is
throw me
definitely
on any stage. I love it.
That's
I love
definitely
it.
a
Thank
gift.
you. Thank you.
Well, we love highlighting black businesses.
That's what
Oh yes, they can follow me. I'm sorry, at the
all your stuff.
Great_University on Instagram. Or go to Better Babes Fit, join the movement, and that's it.
Yes.
Thank you.
And if you want to be on Black Light, we love supporting all the black business. You gotta let us know. Like, comment, subscribe, send us a message, email us, say, hey, can you highlight me? And we'll definitely highlight you. Absolutely.
So it's good seeing you on this great
Yes.
Sunday. We look forward to seeing you on the next Sunday.
Sunday.
Sunday. We ain't on Sunday.
I know y'all used to Thursdays, but it's Sunday,
Sunday.
guys. Sunday at 7
p.m.
p.m.
Yes,
So
yes,
set
yes.
your YouTube timer so that you can be on time to watch these great shows.
And like and
With the
share,
Great
comment,
University.
all the things.
Yes.
But it's been a pleasure, y'all. We out.
Yes.
Yes, this was, and thanks for
Thank
exposing me
you
to
for
all of
being
your
here.
fans.
We
Yes,
appreciate
thank you
it so much.
Thank you. This was awesome.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. We meet again.